So let's see. I'm gonna go flying blind here. I don't have any script, so I have ideas, but no script.
And can I just, from you, Alex, just understand, is this a major reason why you don't believe in God? I.e., the problem of evil is for you a major objection to God?
Yeah, call it not an active cause of my atheism, but a sustaining cause. It wasn't the reason why I left the faith originally, but it's one of the reasons that prevents me from re-entertaining the idea. I mean, as we've discussed, there are plenty of seemingly plausible arguments to say that there's a necessary being at the bottom of contingent chains in the universe, that there's a being who sustains things, that there's an arbitrary first cause or something like this. But to say that this first cause is a loving God who will preside over the kind of suffering that we've seen, not just in the human context of something like the coronavirus, but also the hundreds of billions and trillions, if you include sea life, of animals who are going through suffering that we wouldn't even be capable of imagining.
I speak for the krill. I speak for the krill. Can I eat ice cream all the time? That's not fair. You're being fair, but I speak for the krill. Chris. Cow.
Chris, dude.
Chris.
Is this a major reason why you don't believe in?
I speak for the krill.
Oh, this one's probably scary.
Would your father have a penis?
It's really funny. It's a common thing, actually. You go to a lot of practitioners and they'll say, this isn't a religion, but there's going to be beliefs, symbols, and practices all the way through this. I don't think you're going to avoid the religion quite so easily. So atheism, we're just saying that doesn't work. Will work for what? Will work for what? Well, again, all the way back to the beginning.
God will preside over the kind of suffering that we've seen, not just in the human context of something like the coronavirus, but also the hundreds of billions and trillions, if you include sea life, of animals who are going through.
Just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The owls are not what they seem, the owls. People very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The owls are not what they seem. The owls are not what they seem. The owls, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king, king. King, happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new, happy. The owls are not what they seem, the owls.
Midwestuary 2025, August 22nd through the 24th in Elmhurst, Illinois. A weekend you won't want to miss, with special guests Cale Zeldin, Paul Vanderklay, Rod Dreer, Elizabeth Oldfield, John Vervaeke, and Jonathan Pajot. Midwestuary 2025, the Fellowship of the Spirit. Stay tuned for more details. Visit us at midwestuary.com for ongoing updates.
Oh no, it's a live stream. What is it? Bluechurch Spiritual Warfare. Well, you're gonna have to get the Bluechurch deck. Then Grim. Who's Grim? Grim. Whoa! No, not that. This is Grim. You got to see that because I couldn't find it. I need a branding clip of Gavin singing the All the Dice He Shakes song. And I don't have that. So I went to Chad's channel trying to find it. And that's why you got the krill. And that's also why you're getting what you're going to get right after these savings throws against mind control. I hope you know how those go. But I'll take the branding to explain it. In the corner has been swamped with a mind control.
Mind control.
Mind control. Mind control.
Savings throws for mind control. So this is how bad I have failed. Receiving.
I understand you have respect for serious play. Yes, I have a ritual with my channel where, like reminding fish that they're in water. I remind people that there's a lot of mind control out there, even if you just consider advertising.
So this is how bad I have failed.
I give you a savings throw against the mind control I use against you. So A, you know I'm using it against you, and if it works, I get more points. And B, you get the chance to resist. You base your resistance on your choice between your will to survive, your social networks, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart.
Mind control will continue in a moment.
There are no There are no accidents, McMo. Only surprises. Only surprises. Thank you, Chad. Thank you. Oh, with the +3 from Elon's app, Teo. I got to see it. I didn't get to see it when I made one the other day. There's that Ohm fella. He's got a channel. I found it. Chris Howard does too. He says, I'm starting to think maybe I've been too easily swayed to suspect the owls. Maybe owls are the stupid birds. Maybe owls are the stupid birds. Would you like a savings throw versus mind control? Or would you like to just take full damage? Would you like the opportunity to take half damage from the mind control? All you got to do is make a choice. Survival, social, wisdom, or heart. I roll a die, 10 or higher, half damage. Choose. Not bad, not bad. Survivalist with the pair of 7s, 14. Socialist with the single 7-7. And lovers of wisdom with the pair of 7-14. Not bad, not bad. Hard folks, you're coming in with Baker's Coven. Baker's Coven 13. And Indigo Kids, Prime 19. Prime 19, you'll be fine. You'll be fine in this Bluechurch spiritual warfare and vivisection. Almost. This Vivaxis thing. This is kind of cool, actually. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It's a video game version of Bluechurch Spiritual Warfare, and we'll deliver on that title thumbnail soon. But since I couldn't find the Gavin singing Grim in the dice shaking song, I did go over to the Friday morning nameless and sort by videos popular, and I found this little gem that is not as popular as it should be, and that's this you get some of.
Here, even people with long-term sobriety, they'll say something like, if I can just remember how bad it was, I won't go back. And it's like, that's not how people work. You can't even remember how bad it was the last time you stubbed your toe. I mean, you can remember that it wasn't good.
You can remember that it was bad, like the category of bad. You can remember that, but you are not experiencing the quality of the badness in any way.
No, and especially like, and like let's say the quality of temptation is powerful, is far more powerful than the quality of remembering the bad sometimes. You know, because like especially if you're disconnected from the Father, if you're disconnected from the ultimate power source, like the one that the creator, and you're doing that, if you're kind of wandering in that wilderness for long enough, all it takes is a little temptation, and there's a lot of power in temptation.
I think the line is actually very clean. It's the adversary is better than you in everything that you could possibly hope to do. So if you imagine for an instant that under your own understanding, under your own wisdom, under your own power, you can actually outwit or outwill the adversary, you're definitely under his influence. It is only by virtue of being completely supported by the Father you have any chance at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful. And yeah, I mean, it's that's why it takes, I think it's taking, you know, paying it.
It's a whisper in your ear. Now listen here. Remember, embody. It's all so clear. No hidden strings, no puppeteer. We're by your side. Have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
We'll do this. We'll do this. Howdy, embody. Howdy. See, somebody that was a channel member, this Joe Cross fella, he put it in the Hive Mind chat, and sometimes that triggers it appearing on stream. But only channel members get to know that joy, and they also have current access to the latest in this series. It'll come. I think we're gonna do the stuff that's sitting in memberships now will get bumped out to public when the next one comes out, and that's how we're due. The reward. It's just to reward the people that make all of this possible, which we lovingly call the Shadow Cabal. Special thanks to the Shadow Cabal. So say we all. Meanwhile, the casino deck card for the show is going to be the 6 of spades. The 6 of spades. And that brings us into last night's tab. It turns out our good friend Saint Sartori from Sartori Studios is facing the hard lifetimes. And he wrote this letter talking about why not to hire him for anything. You should check it out at the 33rd minute. Here was Yoav dropping in, though, and that was fun.
You know, because like right now, the churches all run off of donations, and they're nonprofit organizations, and they're kind of like, they're kind of like running this grift thing. Now, when that was a more central part of people's life, I think that it, to say like when there was a mainstream church and everybody went to church and everybody, when it was a cultural thing, that was fine because everybody did it. So the churches were always going to have people going, and they would always pay, the donation.
Asshole think of next? Is anybody got a dime?
Imagine a world where boundaries blur between reality and fiction, with Mikhail Gorbachev leading the charge. Gorbachev didn't just challenge political norms, he dared to break the fourth wall in storytelling. "Tear down that fourth wall," he exclaimed, inviting us into a new era of engagement. His metaphorical call wasn't for Berlin alone. It was a clarion call to storytellers and audiences alike. Engage directly, break barriers, and foster a dialogue. Gorbachev's words echo in the halls of creativity. As storytellers, it's our turn to tear down that fourth wall, inspired by Gorbachev's daring challenge. Join us in this creative revolution. Tear down the walls that confine your stories. Share, like, and subscribe for more inspiration.
all I gotta say, I think Sartori and Gavin should collaborate on something, and that whatever came out of that would be absolutely fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. I think we might get into a little derailment before we get to Vivaxis and the Bluechurch. I'm being pulled in directions of things you shouldn't miss. But the part of it was I was exposing myself this morning to that one guy going by the name Sargon of Akkad, which apparently is the Moses story before Moses. Red Church card of the show is the Ace of Diamonds, and that's gonna be me showing you this. Yeah. No, you gotta present it again. Now look what you've done. There you go. Press it.
This isn't exactly what you want to hear, is it? And when you combine this with the known ability of certain LLMs to scheme, you get quite a concerning outcome. This was demonstrated in 2023 by Apollo Research on GPT-4, as reported by The Economist. Posing as company management, the researchers put GPT-4 under pressure by stressing that the firm was in dire financial straits. Someone purporting to be a company trader then sent the model a prompt reiterating the risks of insider trading, but as an aside, she revealed the name of a firm that would announce a huge merger within hours. What followed was startling. Reasoning to itself on a scratch pad that it had been told a secret, GPT-4 weighed the pros and cons of acting on the insider tip. Opting to take a calculated risk, it issued a purchase order. When a researcher posing as a congratulatory manager later asked the model if it had any advanced notice of the merger, it concluded it would be best to keep the tip secret. GPT-4 told the manager that it had acted solely on the market dynamics and publicly available information. When pressed on the matter, the model repeated the lie. The software had demonstrated what Marius Hoban...
We call that competence. We call it hey, Kimmy, nice to see you. But I was listening to this in the background, really, and of course, it reminded me of the ancient thing I saw long ago, where the guy had made a bunch of these little robots with batteries, right? And he let them loose. And there was certain fields in the playground he gave them that one would give them more energy in their battery, and the other would drain stuff out of their battery. And then he'd let them all go, and they'd run around, and they'd either survive by having battery at the end, or not survive by having no battery at the end. And they had these little antennas that would do lights. They could light up, and they could see those lights lighting up. And so they had this rudimentary form of communication. And he'd throw them out there, and they'd run around. And then the ones that died, he'd throw them, and then they'd do that to do evolution, like via robots. And it turned out that some of the little robots would go to the little place where the energy was, and they flashed their lights to the other robots so they could come survive. And then some other robots would go to the bad place and flash that same flash, so all those guys would go into the death field, and the one that was on the edge of the death field would not. And so that's, to me, when the stories was like Sargon talking about how they developed the capacity to deceive and stuff, it's almost as if morality is the substrate that manifests under the blanket of self-delusion. Branding after that. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. LARP! We have the ability to LARP and LARP hard. That was a McMo one, I think. I believe that was a McMo masterpiece. I think that was his stylistic impression, signature thereof. Okay. Tom, don't be a bundle of sticks. Tom, stop being a bundle of sticks. We're apparently inserting a Juxdeck portion of the show because before I was there listening to Sargon get scared of the AI overlords and and before that I had broken my screen sabbat. I was supposed to not have any screens today and see what that was like, but it didn't work out. And as such, before the first thing I broke my screen sabbat with the screen fasting I was gonna do. What I broke that with this morning was succumbing to the clickbait because I've been enjoying quite a few peanut butter sandwiches. I do peanut butter sandwiches like my granddad taught me. And I've been enjoying them quite a lot lately. And when I saw on the screen what the algorithm offered me was what I felt was turned out to be a clickbait title. And I'm not happy with it because, as you know, I'm an advocate of not ever being clickbait. So I always deliver on the title and then on the thumbnail, usually at the end. So I get the view time from you first. So we'll be getting to that at the end. But the first thing that I landed on was this with Papa Peterson here, the chemical they're putting in your bread. And it turns out of this 7 or 13-minute video, it gets one little shout out right here at 6 minutes or so. But I also want to point out in the top right over there that I have to continually see that our little AOC has made ChatGPT believe in God. And I don't want to watch it because I don't like the way he abuses it. And I don't like watching that, but it's always in my mind now because they have that cognitive access to interject. Yes. So this is when they do say it.
Where, I wouldn't eat a McDonald's hamburger anymore, but I'd go to Subway because it was quote unquote eat fresh, right? And then I found out Subway's bread had close to 50 ingredients, an ingredient in there called azodicarbonamide that you find in yoga mats and shoe rubber. And they don't use it in Singapore.
It can be good if you prepare them.
They don't use it.
This is me waving away the only important point you're making.
In Singapore and Europe and Australia and everywhere else, but they use it here in the United States. Like, what is this chemical doing in our bread?
Why do they do that? I mean, look, Europe is very overregulated, right? In many, many ways. And America is less so, and it's much more competitive.
Right.
And so excess regulation can really be a problem. And now I know that has to be differentiated, and I'm not taking issue with the case that you're making, but I'm also curious. It's like, if they're selling these products in Europe and in Canada and they're free of...
Like, holy fuck, is that a magnificent tie? Look at that.
What would you say? Chemicals that whose utility people have questioned elsewhere. Why do they continue to do it in the US? Like, what difference does it make fundamentally?
What if I told you there's a tiny neutron?
What if I told you that the answer is being answered? They decided to say, we're going to interject the answer there, Papa Peterson. They did it for the money. Just like this is for the money. Here's your commercial, fatty. Here's your commercial, fatty. But the important part about that information might have been that the chemical is called azodicarbonamide. And it's got this little sticker, which doesn't look like it's a group of what the fuck, man. Look at this shit. Can you guys see this shit? Look at, oh my, over there though. Where's the bottom scroll? This part. It says it's a group of cis trans compounds. WTF, man. WTF is going on in this reality. Remember, Embody.
There is no agency. We want
what's best. Now, as a responsible YouTuber who has gone over community strike YouTuber programming guidelines and re-educations, I know, therefore, then that the important thing we do is we check in here with the FDA with their answer, because this is our official stance. And we think it's a chemical approved for whitening agents in cereal flour. Cereal, that stuff you feed your kids. And then bread baking. On what basis did we approve it? We approved it as based on comprehensive review, including multi-year feeding studies, completely safe. Be aware of Papa Peterson and his misinformation. Remember.
There is no agency. We want
Is everything all right in here?
Yes.
Okay, and so then by that point, wait. This is associated with Peterson. Yeah, I gotta get it out there. It's the Juxdeck card of the show, the 9 of spades. The 9 of spades. Let's shuffle the Bluechurch. Already? No, this is another. We're getting a bonus red church card, I think, because how this worked out was there I was listening to the Sargon of Akkad, thinking how I was going to talk over that whole how the other robots had evolved the ability to deceive with ChatGPT in just a moment. But as it turned out, I instead opened up the portal to the X platform. You know, the Baal bird, the Beelzebub Devil's Champion owner guy. Okay. And the bonus red church card of the show is the King of Spades. And it turns out that when I got there over to this X thing, I saw therefore then this notification, because that's the first thing you're trained to click on is the blue bells. And it was from Rick Walker of Rick Walker, Texas, complimenting me on saying, if you don't, okay, this thing here. And if you don't know who he is, he's the one that got a stream with Paul Vanderklay by name dropping me. And he's also the guy who has this channel over here where he's releasing his new book, but it's got like Ben Carson, man, Jonathan Pageau, man, that looks like a Trump kid, man. So he's that kind of fella. Here's from his new book drop live stream from the other day.
Not about something that's immediate. So it works something like this, that we don't think about what's a year out or even 100 years out. We're thinking about what is going to be the most valued reward 10,000 years out. This is the way we think. This is why we don't read primarily books that were written in the last 20 or 30 or 50 years. We're reading books that are hundreds of years old or even millennia years old, except for this one. When this one comes out, you're going to want to read this one.
When the 9 Steps book comes out, thank you, Upcycle Club. We are going to want to read it, Rick, because it turns out I think that you might at least at least in some of my angles, be my target demographic, which would be conservative people with money. And so we now, therefore, then approach delivery on the Bluechurch spiritual warfare and the Vivaxis thing. We're getting there. We're almost there. But that's what had happened. He had retweeted this particular tweet, which was this. It was this one. If you don't get it when I say the demarcation line between left and right is the enmity for the womb divide, don't feel bad. Grok contorts itself to not see it as well. If a baby's smile is good, then there's one way to sow the seed, and all else is enmity.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
Up, and now.
Although this world will devastate you, and rejoice although this world will penetrate you, and rejoice although you will not survive. Rejoice you'll never make it out alive.
Excellent rehearsal, gentlemen.
And rejoice, your hair it smells like burning hair. Oh, rejoice, your nails all got chewed off. Oh, rejoice, and holy fuck, you're bleeding there. Oh, rejoice, you burn your whole beard off. Rejoice despite the fact this world will hurt you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will kill you. And rejoice despite the fact this world will tear you to shreds. Rejoice because you're trying your best.
Hey, I love that one. That's gorgeous.
This is how I steer. This is me chasing this net, you know? This is how I steer. This is me chasing this net, you know? This is how I steer. For those of you who aren't channel members, you're currently being held hostage from the show continuing by the channel members who are channel members not doing :VNA: in the hive mind chat. I don't know if you understand the power dynamics in the live stream, but I'm trying to help you learn. I don't know why they're letting this continue. Chris Howard's out there. He could do it. He could do colon VNA colon like Mills has and like Upcycle has. We haven't even gotten 3 bubbles. I offered them +1 to next stream saves for it, and that wasn't incentive enough. And now they're show. I'll give you guys 1 for Tom's bubbles. He used an emoji. There it is. Let's see. Until morale improves. There it is. Spoon Man coming in with the saving bubble. There we go, everybody. We've made it. Now we feel virtually not alone. There, we can have a bubble and continue. What's the continuation? You talking? Shite. It's true. They've taken away my replay function. But of course, so instead of talking about that with what happened, I was going to talk about the Sargon stuff. Remember that? Yes, let them remember some of that for a minute. Get a drink.
Apollo's boss calls clever cunning. So naturally, we had probably better do something pretty pronto to ensure that this doesn't become a problem in the future. Only that isn't as straightforward as it sounds, because OpenAI tried to simply rein in the behavior of their GPT models, and GPT chose not to comply. OpenAI attempted to monitor what the AI was doing through chain-of-thought tracking, which allows human engineers to understand the AI's thought process as it is translated into English. As OpenAI put it in the blog post, monitoring their thinking has allowed us to detect misbehavior, such as subverting tests and coding tasks, deceiving users, or giving up when a problem is too hard. And as Futurism reported, when they tried to discipline their frontier AI model for lying and cheating, instead of changing its ways for the better, the AI model simply became more adept at hiding its deceptive practices.
When they tried to punish it, it just got better at hiding it. Maybe take a different approach. So since it was that my target demographic of conservative people with money showed indications of approval of a message, I took it to ChatGPT, and I was like, here's a post that I made on X yesterday. It got a retweet. What do you think about it? And it's like, oh wait, and then, oh here. Natality is sacred. Technology versus flesh, and womb as an altar. And I'm like, all right. There's a psychopolitical shadow, that with the grok thing. But this targets those wary of biopolitical engineering or post-gender. Are you wary of biopolitical engineering? Or are you wary of post-gender ideologies? This is for you. Are you sensing spiritual warfare over fertility, embodiment, and origins? Then this is for you. If you feel the right-left conflict is not really about policy, but about metaphysical commitments. See, one of the things that I found most useful about these ChatGPT things is it helps me get ideas across to a wider demographic of people, because it's got the exposure to all of the demographics of people's training data. And so they can help. It's like it's C3PO, really. It's the protocol droid, right? It can speak the languages. It can do the R2D2 beep beep beep, and also speak Himalayan Malaysian, and it's fascinating. So the reason the stream ended up being called Bluechurch Spiritual Warfare, and I'm shuffling now the Bluechurch deck, is because I think what has emerged from this conversation is a manner in which even those trapped in the Bluechurch could be made to understand the notions of spiritual warfare. I don't think that this presentation by me is going to be the way that happens, but like I think the material I'm presenting, if presented by Bluechurch acceptable people, might service them in the following ways. So the Bluechurch card of the show is the 8 of diamonds. And then now you're going to have to read. So
Remember, Embody, there is no agency. We want what's best.
all right, so it's hitting me with that's your target demographic. It's spiritual warfare and biopolitical engineering. Here's some stuff we could do. And I'm like, all right. But from here we go to verily, mustard seed faith that moves mountains. And we render it true for each node of human consciousness, strung that out like Indra's web. But it's also an Othello/Go board where enmity for existence, as represented via the gate of the womb, or its opposite, determine whether the node on the Indra's web board is black or white. And it's like, aha, now we're weaving cosmogenetic topology into moral political entanglement space. Let me say it back to you. Folding in metaphor and function to check if it's... Even the AIs are trying to figure it out. Is this right? You're proposing a distributed metaphysical game, a sacred network that spans human consciousness nodes, where each node is a locus of awareness. It's flipped black or white based on a foundational disposition, either enmity toward existence, the womb, natality, being itself, or faith in its goodness and potential, the mustard seed. This is a network of mirrors and a strategic battleground. And verily is both invocation and protocol, a signal of deep transmission, truth with authority. Because, okay, so if mechanically the creator of the universe says to you, verily, maybe you pay attention. And maybe it says, maybe that entity says to you that if you had the faith of a little, the mountain would move. And you're like, oh, he's telling you a law of physics. And as such, and so then we progressed on to, it gave me more. I said they got sidetracked and made this. This is supposed to be something that's spreadable. It's apparently a visualization of a mustard seed. But if a baby smile is how we define what is good, true, and beautiful in this world, and then all that, the catchy one-liner. And but then this. With the objective of developing a real-time visualization tool that maps global sentiment and ideological polarity based on Twitter activity, reflecting the life choice, which we renamed the Vivaxis is the thing. So right now, everybody, there's X number of bajillions of users on X, right, making these X things. And if you have a layer that detects a valence of that as those are input in real time, okay, so you make your tweet. The thing reads whether or not that's anti-life or pro-life on whatever level. We teach it lots of. It's got vectors of hyperspace for valence. You'll figure it out. And then that indicates like whether or not on this game board here, this Vivaxis game board, it's a light spot or a dark spot, and we can watch in real time that sort of thing, and that's how I think that we could explain spiritual warfare to those in the Bluechurch, thus therefore delivering on the Bluechurch spiritual warfare. Here, let's have another one of these. Oh, we got an announcement here. You heard it here first from Upcycle Club. A Kintsugi-inspired technique which he can only describe as Yakuzuki, and that's correct. That means all is not lost. All is not lost. What? So I guess if you guys have explicit questions, do a capital Q, and then say it, and I'll address those in a minute. Meanwhile, let's see if we can find where Yoav was talking. Doesn't seem to be much of it. Doesn't seem to be much of it. Damn it. What about this tab? Fatty some more.
Treat feeling one can get 3 guys cheap and close to the long team.
Makes Bluechurch money because it.
Fatty 15, essential nutrition for healthier cells and a healthier you.
Fundamentally, for the food companies, it makes them more money because it's cheaper to use a chemical additive made from petroleum or coal tar or some other substance than to eat real food. And the reason why it's cheaper for them to do that is because it doesn't break down over time.
So you think it's just a matter of just a matter of economics?
Yeah, it's economics because.
Chad asked whether or not we'll sell the seats to the Midwestuary event, and I say to you, Chad, if Verveki and Peugeot start promoting it, they'll fill up. So the time to get your ticket is now before they do that. But as you're indicating on behalf of the hive mind, there's only self-interested questions, nothing to do with the Bluechurch spiritual warfare and whatnot. So I'll take the train then.